Hello and welcome back to the SQ5R Reading Strategies video series. This fifth installment covers the third R, which is record. Now if you'll recall from the previous video, I read through and responded to this paragraph right here. Now the respond part of it you heard me say out loud. That's not necessarily something I'm always going to do when I'm at home studying because I will recite later on. But I wanted to think through that process for you guys. So I read it, I responded to it so you could see what my thinking was about it, and now it's time to record, okay? And the record is where we take notes, where we highlight things, where we underline certain things. Now, as I said before, I like to use a notebook. I'm a paper and pen kind of person myself, but for the purposes of this video, I'll show you how you can do some of that stuff here in your digital textbook, and by all means please feel free to use that pen and paper on your own for your questions, for your notes, for whatever. So I read through this section here and now I want to take some notes on it, right? There's a cool feature in your digital textbooks that allows you to do notes, and I showed this in a previous video, but I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to add a note. So I'm making my note deontology, right? And then I'm just going to make little notes about it, like duty-based ethics. What are our duties? Right? And I'm going to say Kant because he's associated with this. These are all little notes that I can make in here that I can come back to later on. Because if I go up to this little 3 bars here on the table of contents, I can go over here to notes and see right here it's got different places where I've made notes, where I've added stuff, and this is the one I just added, right? So I can go back and I can have access to that, okay? I can also go in and I can say Dion is the Greek word for duty, and I can highlight that and actually highlight it in the book. And I'm going to use this yellow right here. And see, that'll stay highlighted like that. So certain parts of the book that you want to emphasize, you can do that. So if I want to come here and highlight this sentence, the concept of moral duty is based on the notion that some behaviors are right or wrong, period, right? I can come in here with the annotation tool and I can underline that, okay? Or highlight that, I'm sorry. And that, you know, is something that you would do in your normal textbook with a highlighter, and you can do it here in this digital book as well. And then you just have other features that you can play around with. You can add an annotation box, right? So you can change it. So I can put a box around it instead of having it highlighted. I can circle it. It's whatever your preference is. Maybe you want to circle some things and highlight others to show some sort of different connotation with it. It's up to you. I suggest getting in, playing around with the tools, and seeing what they can help you do. Okay, but I'm going to make my notes in the digital book. I'm going to highlight some stuff that I think is important, and I'm going to answer any of the questions that I wrote down that I can answer at this point. And that's going to kind of end this portion of the record phase, because remember, we're going to read in small chunks, we're going to respond in small chunks, we're going to record in small chunks. And then once we're done recording something, we're going to move into the recite, which will be the next video.